Hey y'all, I am here. It's Janelle Jones. I am going to really get started with interviewing Coach Jeff Howell. So listen, I know we need people to come on here, so we're going to have people come on here. And we're actually doing something very different from what I normally do, but I'm super excited to do this. We're going to do a virtual book launch. So, we're here. We're going to represent really getting into Coach Howell's new book. We want you to understand how dynamic this book is. So we're going to kind of let people come on and then we're going to dive right into it. Now, I don't want to interview him because I don't want people to think that looking at this book or reading this book is just kind of one of those things where it's just like, oh, that's not for me. Or looking at it like, you know what, I'm just going to pass it over. We're going to get into really the dynamics of his book, why he created the book, what's the meaning behind it, and why you need to purchase it, because we know that you need to do. So Coach Jeff Howell, or Coach Jeff, you can let me know how you want me to go, just released a few months ago. Go ahead.
I just want to say hi to everybody. Hi.
Hey. Listen, we're so happy to have you here. I'm very proud of you. I'm very, very proud of you. I know this is something that you've been wanting to do. So I just want to congratulate you for being able to get this out. So thank you so much for sharing your gift with the world. And we're going to really dive into it. So if you're here, one of the things I would want you to do is we're going to drop some comments because we have a special surprise at the end. So Coach Howell's book is A Player's Program, the playbook for building and maintaining positive team culture and relationships, which is going to be this is going to be impactful no matter what you're doing. If you're in sports or if you're a CEO, this is going to be for you. Now, as you're watching this, as you come and join us, I really want you to drop in the comments A Player's Program. So that way you're able to have your chance to win a free drawing. So make sure you drop that in the comments and we're going to go from there. So let's start. Happy book lunch. Woo, 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 woo. I'm super happy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was a long journey. It was definitely a long journey, but we got to the finish line, and appreciative of all the village and everyone that helped me to get there. So thank you.
You're welcome. So listen, talk to us. Talk to us about, who you are. Tell us more about what you do. Give us a detailed description of Coach Howell, and then we'll get into why you wrote this book.
Okay. Well, I do have a day job. I work for Cascade 365. It's an account receivable company. I've been with them for over 9 years. The director of national sales. I'm based here in Columbus, Ohio. Work remotely, travel as needed. I coached. I was the head coach at Madison Christian High School for 9 years. Technically 10. The first year I was an assistant coach, and I moved into the head coaching role the year after. I was thankful to be able to coach my daughter in high school. And that was really the main reason why I got into coaching in the first place. Is I just honestly wanted to be close to her and hang out with her. She's the baby of the 3 girls that I have. And just wanted to share my expertise with the head coach based on my Ohio high school basketball officiating experience and just knowledge of the game. So yeah, I coached there for 9 years, and I retired from Madison Christian the year before last after the full 9 years. So that's how I got into that role.
So you have some time and some expertise, with the game, with the players, with the leaders, with just the program, and the awesome privilege of working with your daughter, which, sometimes it's like, but so you have some really good just history in that area of just working with people. So with that being said, A Player's Program, you had to have witnessed and interact with a lot of students, a lot of athletes, a lot of just directors, a lot of people who are coaches in this field. So let the audience know what made you decide to write A Player's Program. What made you decide to write the book?
Well, you're right. My role in my day job in sales allows me to deal with a lot of different types of people, right? From all different walks of life, different parts of the country, different ethnic groups, etc. So I had to learn to deal with, objections and just the different personalities and speaking and the approaches that I had to have with those folks. And to me, that translated to coaching high school girls. Just dealing with the different personalities, the parents, day-to-day adversity and trials and tribulations that high school kids go through on a regular basis. So to answer your question, and long-winded, when I first started coaching at Madison Christian, the program needed an identity. They didn't have an identity. The girls played basketball basically to play a winter sport, so they didn't have to go to gym class. Because in Ohio, if you play a sport, you don't have to go to gym. And girls are a little bit different than boys. Girls don't really like to change clothes and get made up again and things of that nature. So that was the mindset. They weren't really putting in the work in the off season to get better and improve. And I needed to change that mindset and create an identity. And that's really where the players program came from, because a players program in our world meant God first and service, one, past, present, future, and juice. And each one of those areas has a different meaning to the entire program that allowed me to jumpstart and to really lead to where I'm at, to where I'm with the book now. The book, after 9 years of coaching, I got a lot of accolades. A lot of parents said you did, really great things with my daughter. I saw the growth in the 4 years that they played for you. And it was just a lot of positive reinforcement that came back to me during the period that I was coaching. And I figured, hey, let's write about it, because our school is not going to win a national championship. And I felt that what I was doing was preparing these kids for life, for the next step, for, work, of college, work, etc. And I tried to do a whole bunch of different things that did not necessarily relate to making a basket or winning a basketball game, that prepared them for that next step.
So this is one of the things that's kind of really deep here, where it's like, yes, I'm a coach. I'm working with these girls. I mean, I love the story of like how you're saying, okay, at first it was just a thing to forget going to gym. Like, you know what? We gonna just go to play basketball. We know this is an out to get us to get out of gym, but you changed their mindset, right? So you were able to shift their mindset a little bit more. It's almost like to take it seriously. Like, okay, no, talk to us about that.
Yeah, so you're right. I had to change the mindset. I had to change the culture, and it was baby steps. It didn't happen overnight. I mean, to get the engine really going and fine-tuned, it was about a 3-year process. But I had to institute different things like camps and basketball camps for second grade through 8th grade. So I had to institute, because the program didn't just start at high school. I had to start the program in elementary school and junior high school. So then when they got to high school, they were already kind of pre-programmed to know what to expect once they got to me as their high school coach. So I had to do different things. And again, a lot of these things were off the court. So I was able to bring in outside influences. I brought in a sports psychologist. I brought in leadership individuals. My middle daughter has a leadership empowerment type of organization, and she flew in from North Carolina, and she actually not only talked to the girls program, the junior high girls program, but the boys program as well. And we just talked about leadership and how, the things you need to do to become better leaders, even at that young age. So I had to bring in a lot of different, folks. That's why I have a chapter called It Takes a Village to help me to promote things that will prepare them for the next step in life experiences.
So one of the things that I'm hearing you say, which is shocking to everybody, is in order to build this growth mindset, you had to put in work. And this work was not overnight. So it's not like you said, you know what, I'm gonna start here and then boom, we're going to be here. Like I'm hearing you say specifically that, listen, although my goal was to coach and help the high school girls, I had to go back. Now, this ain't about sports, people. Listen, I need y'all to hear this.
Yeah.
I had to go back to kindergarten,
Yeah.
to middle school, to elementary school in order to create programs that kind of create this pipeline for them to be better athletes by the time they got to high school.
Exactly. And that's a great point. Where I coached at Madison Christian, and I'll just be perfectly transparent, we are and were not going to win a state championship in basketball. All right. Mm-hmm. That's just not the model of Madison Christian School.
Right.
When you go to Madison Christian School, you're going for a Christian education, Christian experiences, academics. It's rare. I'm not gonna say rare, but it's a low percentage of athletes that go on to the next level to play D1, D2, D3 NAIA sport. So I had to take a step back. We're not like some schools and high schools that are out recruiting for individuals to play sports. That's just not our mindset. So I had to take the approach where we're going to build from within. I'm not going to another school and try to take them out of a school to come to Madison Christian so that we can win basketball games. So I took the approach where, okay, I'm going to build from within. I'm going to start at the kindergarten level, right? First grade, second grade, all the way up. And I'm going to prepare them not only on the court to be fundamentally better in the game of basketball, but also prepare them for different things that they're going to encounter, how to deal with adversity, how to get ready for leadership type roles in colleges and careers and jobs and things of that nature. So I had to take a step back and have a kind of a balance of not only being competitive on the court, but also being competitive to prepare them for life off the court.
Yeah, I think that's so amazing. Like sharing that is like the deepness of your heart, right? So because you could have easily knowing that this school, Madison Christian School, was not a school that's going to be preparing players to go to a D1 school, right? Knowing that, this school is not preparing players to do X, Y, and Z, knowing that, or go to the WNBA, knowing that you still invested, right? Your time, your resources. Now we're going to get to that. It take a village, because I think that's so amazing. Seriously, like you really invested that time in order to create a program that not only makes these children or kids or players, not only make them amazing on the court, but to make them off the court.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And again, in 9 years of coaching, I've had a lot of alumni folks that are no longer part of the program, but I still hear from them and I still talk to them. And, I'm not, patting myself on the back, but I still to this day, from somebody who graduated in 2014, that'll come back and say, Coach Jeff, that was still to this day the best experience that I've ever gone through with, some of the things that we did and some of the outside activities that we did, while at the same time putting a really good product out there on the basketball court and winning some games. So it's really a fulfilling mission that I had. And I do want to say one more thing real quick about just the energy and really the time. I've got a chapter in there called Stephanie Marie Howell. Yeah, Stephanie's my wife. So as a coach, if you want to, page 35, she would say page 35. If as a coach, if you want to do it the right way, you have to put in a lot of time, right? A lot of time, you have to have a lot of patience. There's a lot of time that you're away from home. I would, do outside activities. I would go to non-basketball related things that the girls might have been involved in. It could have been a recital, a band concert. I went to volleyball games and soccer games. I did anything I could to be a presence. And that just goes back to that whole relationship thing and creating that positive reinforcement with the relationship, not only with the player, but that also translates to the relationship with the parent as well. So I just wanted to put that plug in for Stephanie Marie Howell.
Shout out to Stephanie Marie Howell. I see her peeping in. So shout out to her. I think that's so amazing for you to say, listen, not only just are we doing it here on a court, not only are we doing it in other skill settings, but we're also doing it in our lives when it comes to our spouses, our careers, and all these other things that impact who we are. Because it's not, just one time you hit the shot, you do it, you learn how to be X, Y, and Z. It's more so, let me do the work. I was going through the book, and I was looking at when you talked about some of the characteristics. I know that you had mentioned that it came from like this 23, I can't remember the quote, but just some of the characteristics that a leader needs to have, some of the things that they need to come in and obtain. I'm gonna go right to the chapter, all right? Because let me tell you, I was reading it. So we're talking about being a great teammate.
Yeah.
Okay. Now listen, being a great teammate. And I thought this was very interesting. Just reading through this. I started the quote, promise to be just enthusiastic about the success of others as you're about your own. And I thought, listen, we need this to go on every screen, because how many people, and again, this is on the court, off the court, how many people do we know don't celebrate other people's success and don't have them, be success, or don't celebrate in their victory? They have this woe is me attitude. They compare themselves to them and all this stuff. And I thought that was very interesting. In reading this, like if you're going to go through the 10 points that you have for being a great teammate, what would you feel is your biggest one? What would you feel like is your biggest one? Like, what would you be like? All of them are good. So this is why y'all need to go get the book. We're going to put the link in there soon. All of them are excellent. But what do you feel like is the one that's like out of all, being a great teammate? This is one that resonates.
That's tough because they're all kind of important. I guess I was really, really big on encouragement. When we were at practice, in warm-ups, pregame warm-ups, I was just really big on uplifting everyone, and that translated to the girls, and they would uplift their teammates if something went bad. They missed a layup, they missed a shot, something happened during the game, they turned the ball over, threw it to the other team. Just constantly lifting up. I tried to have that positive reinforcement. And I really think that's one of the biggest things that you can do, is to have that constant encouragement. You're going to have time to correct the mistakes in practice, right? You'll have that time, if something goes wrong, and you want to obviously learn from your mistakes. But during the game, when it's game time, or even in the workplace, when you're at work, you want to constantly uplift and constantly encourage one another, and then show them, how to fix the problem if you're in the workplace, or fix the mistake if you're on playing a sport and things of that nature. So I guess if I had to pick one, Janelle, it'd probably be encouragement.
But I like how you say, so I'm over here taking notes like I'm a therapist, so you have to excuse me when I do that. But I like when you say you have to fix the problem. How many times do you see people kind of like, I guess, running away from fixing it, where they're doing everything but what needs to be done to resolve the issue?
Yeah, and that's key. You have to learn, you have to identify the problem, right? And then find a solution to the problem. A lot of folks are really good at throwing out what the issue is, what the problem is, but nobody's coming back with, well, what's the solution? What are the options in order to fix that particular problem, so that we can learn and move forward? Because at the end of the day, you always want to move forward. You don't want to go backward, right? You want to keep moving forward, and just show progress in really everything that you do, whether it's sports or in the workplace. Okay. In my role in sales, I get objections all the time. I don't get hung up a whole lot, but people say no, right? I
Mm-hmm.
can't get down on myself, right? I gotta, now I'm working by myself. I don't really have anybody that's encouraging me. I got to encourage myself. And I've learned how
Yeah.
to uplift myself to move on to maybe that next prospect in order to, try to get the sale for, for what we're trying to sell. And you have
Yeah.
to use that really in all facets of your life.
But listen, once again, you've said a lot of stuff that I want to kind of break down. You mentioned encouraging yourself. A lot of people, I feel like, don't know how to do that. Like they give up when they are not really encouraging themselves or pushing forward. They're like, I can't do this. They are looking for those external things to kind of make them go or motivate them. But you're saying, no, if you don't have that, like at my job, I still have to encourage myself in order for me to keep going, right?
Yes.
You also listen, as a coach and like going through this, I'm not like a coach like you, but going through this, you've also mentioned something that I think that's so key: mastering objectives. Because a lot of times people think objections are like they're rejections or it's an adversity. So talk to me about facing those, teaching your players and including yourself how you're able to master objections and overcome adversity. So when things are happening, because you mentioned that you've shown your girls how to kind of take objections, how to take adversity, and then recover or move forward or push forward from there. Tell me what's a good, I guess, skill or plan or thing, don't necessarily have to be specific, that you do that you're able or teach others to do when those life happens moment comes. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, coaching at a Christian school, the first thing we do is pray. So,
Yes.
when objections come up, when adversity comes up, with an injury happens, we had an injury my last year to our leading scorer, and she was out for several games, the whole tournament, and it just really threw a loop for the rest of the season, because we were probably going to win a few more games in the tournament. And the first thing we do is pray. And I had captains, really strong leadership, that would gather everybody together, and we get in a group and we would pray. So that's really the first thing we're going to do. The other thing is we want to talk it through. I'm a big believer that with adversity comes growth, and with adversity you try to learn from the situation. Obviously, if it's a injury, that's a little bit more difficult. It's not much more you can do. But if it's something else, maybe adversity could be you've missed 10 free throws in a row, for example. Well,
Mhm.
okay, we learn from that. We look at, film, we look at your mechanics, we practice and things of that nature. But I'm just a big believer that you become stronger through adversity, and you
Mm.
grow through adversity. And I always tended to look at adversity as a learning type of opportunity to move things forward. So
Yeah. So let's unpack that. So
okay,
adversity, listen, I'm so into adversity. I mean, not that I want to go through it, but
yeah,
you do learn a lot from it. But you said you learn from it, you grow through it, you grow from it. You really take what adversity has given you, and you're learning to go to the next level with it, as opposed to being a victim to it. Because a lot of times people are a victim to that adversity. So you're teaching them a wonderful skill. And if you're here and you're just joining us, we are with Coach Jeff Howell, and we're doing a book launch, and I'm doing it in an interview form because he just dropped his amazing book, A Player's Program. And this book is very good. It can translate to sports, it can translate to leadership, it can translate to business. But so we want you to get your copy, and we'll tell you how. But listen, just that gem right there, talking about adversity and teaching people to keep going. So many people get caught up in adverse situations and I mean, just think about childhood trauma and things that happen to you. How many people are caught up in those things and have not progressed, and it's teaching you how you're able to move forward?
yeah,
Would you go?
that's a great. I don't mean to cut you off, Janelle, but that's really a great point. if you look at the cover of the book, the girl, the young lady that I'm hugging, she was a freshman in that picture. And, she had been going through some things, throughout her life. Had not really played organized basketball before. There was some defensiveness. There's some sensitivities. There was just a lot of adversity that's going on, in her life, at home, at school, things of that nature. And she and that was senior night. The redhead, I think, to the right there, it was her senior night. That's my daughter to the far back left. She was a sophomore, by the way, behind me. But she made a good play on the floor. It was a defensive play, and the other team called timeout. And I just hugged her. I just felt that I needed to hold her, during that particular time, just to reinforce the fact that she made a good play. I know your story. I know the background. And, I just felt that it was just very, very important for me to hug her. And again, she was a freshman, and it was a process with her. It was a process, but long story short, by the time she got to her senior year, she became just confident, mature, became a leader, became a captain. I mean, it was just, when you deal with adversity and things come up, it doesn't get fixed overnight, right? And she is a perfect example that, again, through prayer, through time, through reinforcement, that, at the end of the day, things are going to get better. And she's a perfect example of what motivated me. Even after my daughter graduated, I still coached another 4 years. Wow. She's a perfect example of why I continue to coach, because I love seeing that growth in people and growth in the girls. And again, some it happened pretty quickly, but some it was a process, 2, 3, 4 years. And that's what motivated me to keep coming back, because I was just passionate about the whole growth of these girls into better people.
I normally do this thing where I'm like, pass the collection plate. So I'm gonna have to do that. But this is my like fake collection plate, because I think you're just dropping some gems when you're talking about, meeting someone where they are, right? Embrace them with love and authenticity, right? And being able to embrace them flaws and all, and to watch them go from somebody who came in who didn't have the confidence, who didn't have the leadership skills, and to watch them progress through that, all because you were able to accept them, welcome them, and provide them with the information that they need, tools that they need in order to really groom there to be leaders. But the one thing that you said was very awesome to me as you're going through this progress with them is you are able to see their progress. Like I stayed, right? Because I saw their progress, because I know it wasn't overnight. Like I'm in this for real, right?
Yeah.
So I stayed because I saw them go from X to Z or A to B, whatever it is. I saw that, and that just seeing that, them believing in themselves, them showing up, them, I'm sure, gaining confidence. And I know with the confidence, they were doing things they didn't do before, right?
Correct. Exactly. That you're spot on. Right? I mean, my athletic director at the time would always say, Jeff, you can't fix everybody. Well, I wanted to fix everybody. Whatever issues they had, I wanted to fix it. And that was my passionate approach to them, was to try to make them better people. Again, on and off the court. So you're spot on with that. And again, that's what motivated me to stick around, for 9 years. So,
but the beauty of it, honestly, is that you found your passion and your purpose. And I think, I believe honestly, and I know we've had these conversations, I believe honestly that you are going to really do a lot, in the area, in a space of speaking, going to different schools and things like that, because I think it's needed in those areas. But the beauty of it is finding your passion. So I know, let's talk about that. Finding something that you're passionate about and putting your all into it. Now, I know that you're a guy that has great integrity. So you're going to, you have great work ethic. So I know that you're going to do this. But in this particular event, you went above and beyond. So
I did.
talk to us about just what is it like? And I know that finding your purpose and being in your purpose and doing things. I think this book is just the beginning of it. Um, Finding those things and doing all those things. Although I'm sure you have moments that you were like, "Oh my God, what in the world?" Right? What kept you going into your purpose, and what is it like to find that fulfilling moment?
Yeah, you're right. Because I didn't have any head coaching experience coming in. I was an assistant coach at Patriot Prep for 2 years. I had another daughter that went there, and then I was assistant coach for at here at Madison Christian, and then 19 years as an Ohio high school basketball official. So I had no head coaching experience. So when the job was really kind of laid in my lap after something had happened to the previous head coach, I didn't know, I had no idea. So I started Googling, YouTubing, for basketball drills and plays and things of that nature. But so I had really no experience. So, but I was engulfed in the process. And that's just
Mhm.
me. It has to be within yourself to do certain things and to have that type of passion. And it's just within me, it's within my heart to put everything I could to make the high school basketball experience for those girls as best as it could be and as memorable as it could be. So
Mhm.
I wasn't doing it for myself. I was doing it for them and for
Mm.
every single girl that came through the Lady Eagle program. I was doing it for them. So they're the ones that really ignited my engine to do things to make things better for them going forward. And that's why I was always looking for ways to improve year after year after year after year. I was looking for different opportunities off the court, different people that I could bring in to speak, different ways to run my camp, just all kinds of different things that I could do. I mean, we even went to a candle shop one time during the right before the season and made candles in downtown
Wow.
Columbus. So just different, just different things like that. I was just very, very passionate about. So I don't know. I think a lot of it has to be in your heart and what you want to do,
Mhm.
and then what your purpose is. So a lot of it
Mhm.
has to do with that, Janelle.
But I love the fact that you're like, yes, so this ignited this, but this isn't where it stopped. You went and wrote a whole book. You
Yeah,
have a whole program. You do a whole bunch of leadership, and we'll get into everything that you do. But it's almost like unveiling your purpose. It's almost like it unlocks steps to other things too as you continue to go. So, I
yeah.
think that's amazing.
Yeah, what it's done too, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back at all, but the school had never had a coach like me. A
Mm.
school had never really done all of these outside activities that we did, taking the team to Ohio State Lady Buckeye games, doing these different service projects, Meals on Wheels, going to an assisted living home to play checkers with the elderly, having a partnership with the Bridgeway Academy for Autism, and going
Wow.
and doing a basketball clinic and things of that nature. The school had never had that before. So what it did, other coaches saw this, the
Mm.
athletic director saw this, and you know, things got kind of promoted to other coaches, and they saw the success, and they started doing these things as well. So what it did is, it honestly, things that I did improved the entire coaching staff at Madison Christian. And that's the story I want to share, like you mentioned earlier, with other athletic directors in Central Ohio and coaches and things of that nature. Because everybody knows the X's and O's and how to run an out of bounds play and how to run an offense and defense and things of that nature. But not everybody knows how to build the program and how to build the culture, the relationships, and the things that you need to do to get these kids ready for the next stage of their lives.
Mm. Listen, so if you're out there and you're listening, and you have a program, you have a school, again, this is not just for sports. This is for any area of leadership where you're looking to just transition to something better. You need a speaker. Make sure you hit up Coach Howell. Again, we're going to give you his information in a second, but on an honest note, it's like taking these practical tools and spreading them everywhere, where it's just like, we're able to, because what you did that was different, in my opinion, was you invested in a way that was far different. Because a lot of people, like you said, we know the X's and O's, but taking them to the candle, that's a personal touch, right? That's doing something personal. Or
I
let's
got
go to
girls.
the, yes, like, but even doing that, it's not just, you were not all game, you were not all sports,
Yep.
you were really like that personal touch makes you know them on a different level. So I think that is the key. So listen, y'all know sports, y'all know people who need a leadership coach. He gonna give y'all the information. I do want to reintroduce Coach Howell to you guys. Remember, he has a new book. This is our book launch for him and Players Program. And if you're here, and you can drop a comment. If you drop a comment with your name, or a comment with a Players Program, not your name, you may have a chance to win a book. But make sure you support him. Again, we'll give you the link to the book soon. But actually, we're going to drop that link now. Make sure you go to his website and purchase your book. If you're in a leadership role, if you need someone to talk to your kids, and you're in high school, college, elementary school, whatever, preschool, if you need somebody to come out and talk to your kids, make sure you go do that. Because listen, there are so many children who need leaders, like who need someone to teach them how to pull out these things in them to grow and be successful. So if you're at a school, you're a principal, you're a teacher, you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody else, I need you to hit up Coach Howell to really go through and really get like what this means when he's talking about building these cultures and these relationships. Because I think that is what it, no, rewind. I know that is what's key. Okay, so I have another question for you.
Okay.
Going through your book, you outline several key components of effective leadership in the Players Program. If you had to choose just one as the most critical and crucial one, which one would it be?
Gosh, you pinned me down to this one. Well, I'm going to give you three.
Okay.
But I guess the first one is probably going to be the main one. But I guess the three that I would throw out would be passion, and I've mentioned that several times. You have to have a passion for what you want to do. I didn't coach to make money. I mean, I got a little bit of a stipend, but it really it wasn't much at all. It was a ministry for me. So
Yes.
the passion. If you're coaching high school, a high school sport in general, and you're doing it for money, then you need to get out, because at the high school level, you need to be teaching these kids and growing these kids and getting them to the next stage of their lives from a leadership perspective, et cetera. So passion is very, very, very important. And I again, my day job and sales translated to coaching, and I just had that passion. The other one is just being transparent. I was very open. I was very honest. I was very direct. The kids appreciated that. The parents appreciated that. If a parent had a problem with, maybe their kid, they thought their kid should be getting more playing time, I'd have a conversation with the parent and the player, not just with the player. I want to get them both together so everybody's on the same page. And I tell them exactly what I'm seeing. All of my practices were open practices. They weren't welcome to come in and watch practice. I would get them a chair. They could sit there right next to me and watch practice. So just being open and transparent. I would share stuff about my personal life, my kids, my wife, my parents. I would just share things with them, and just being open and transparent. And that it just made the kids very comfortable in wanting to talk to me and share things that could be going on in their world that they needed assistance with. And then the last one is just encouragement. I mentioned that earlier. So passion, transparency, and just having a very encouraging environment for all parties, from coaches down. So those three things are important. Sorry, I didn't limit it to one, but those things are important to me.
No problem. But those things are very great for us to take in. Like, you have to have the passion. You really want to be able to, like you said, if you coaching a basketball person or a high school person, it's a lot of development that need to be there. And if you don't have the patience to develop them or help develop them as a coach, then you're in the wrong position, especially if you're doing it for money. So it's really finding that passion for them. I know that we go to the scripture that always says your gifts will make room for you. Like when we're operating in our passion, that's a very strong gift, or that's a very strong scripture that always comes to me, because a lot of times we are trying to take on gifts of other people. We're not operating in the gifts that God has given us, and we are not fully in our purpose. I believe, and you can let me know what your thoughts are too. I believe when we're operating in our purpose, that's where the fulfillment comes in. Does it
Yeah.
right? That's when
Yeah.
we feel fulfilled. And if you're not operating in that, a lot of
Yeah.
people are around here miserable or trying to become someone that God did not create them to be.
Exactly. It's important to find your purpose, find an area that, um, works for you and you can give back.
Yeah.
Giving back in my case, giving back to these kids was very important. My wife thinks I, can maybe do something in the church, a little bit more and give back in that respect. But I wish I would have started coaching sooner in life, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could have added even more value, but in that little 9-year stretch that I had, I feel that there was a lot of purpose in my mind and in my heart, and I did the best I could to, you know, make that whole experience the best experience in their lives. So that was
Yeah.
my purpose. That was my main purpose for 9 years, for sure.
Yes. That's amazing. Now, listen, he's moving on. Let me just tell you again, he's not moving on from the purpose, the core of who he is, but he has a whole book out here. Okay. A players program. He has a whole book out here for y'all to grab, to read, to take this information in and to give it to who needs this information, which is your kids, which is your staff, which are people in leadership roles, so executive leaders, anything like that. We can take this information and really use it in order to create the right culture to help us build a relationship. Because listen, I remember my pastor used to say, rules without relationships breeds rebellion. So a lot of times we're trying to have a relationship with people or kids, or especially when it comes to children, they can see through the bull. Let's just be honest, right?
Right.
They can see through that. So whenever we're trying to build relationship with children or other people, it's important that we know how to build. How many people know someone who is in a management role and they suck at people skills? Like,
Yeah.
how does this person become a manager and they don't know people, right?
Right.
But we
Right.
all know people that way. If you know someone who's great with people you know that person you'll see the team excel. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is why it's going to be important for you to not just look at, okay, we need to do X's and O's, but we really need to build a positive team culture so that we can have great relationships. So I know some people in leadership who need to go cop this book. The website is below, and we have put it in the comments as well. So you need to go get this actual book so that you're able to take this information and share it out. Now we're doing a book launch for him. So I need you guys to make sure on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, that's why I'm live at, make sure you support Coach Howell in his I don't want to say new purpose, his extended purpose.
Yeah.
Really go ahead and click the link so that you're able to support him, so that you can grab your copy today. So as we're exiting, is there anything you would like to share with the audience?
Just communication. I'm really big on communication, and just being open with folks. I've got a chapter in there about parent coach relationship, AD coach relationship, for example. And I was just very open and honest with the parent. I made sure that the parent was communicated along with the student athlete at all times. I made sure to speak to them, have a relationship with them, because if you have that relationship with the parent up front, it makes things a lot easier when adversity comes into place where, for example, my daughter's not getting enough playing time. Why is that? Blah, blah, blah. It just makes those conversations a lot easier, a lot smoother. and just more comfortable when you're transparent, you're open, honest, and you're able to communicate. Outside of that, I definitely appreciate you, and I appreciate all of your support and everything that you're doing. This has been a long journey. I'm at the end of the journey, but I'm not finished with the journey. For example, as you mentioned, my goal is to. I actually got a meeting tomorrow with the MoCal League. MoCal is the Mid-Ohio Christian Athletic League, and that has high schools like Tree of Life, Madison Christian, Granville Christian, Northside Christian, Liberty Christian. So all the athletic directors will be there, and I'm going to just share some tidbits about the book, give them a free copy, and then the goal is, I want them to share this with their coaches, or maybe bring me in to have conversations, with their coaches. To share tidbits about how to build a program, the culture, relationships, et cetera. So that's kind of the next phase. I don't think I'm going to write another book. Everybody asks if you're going to write another book, but I don't think I'm going to write another book. But I'm definitely going to speak to high schools in the Central Ohio area, maybe the state of Ohio, and just share my thoughts on how to build a program and just look outside of the box other than wins and losses.
Yeah. I think you will write another book. I'm sure Stephanie can agree with that. So I'm sure you'll write another book. And yes, I need you to go speak to them. So if they're interested with the tidbits, I need them. Y'all need to be hiring him as a speaker. I'm gonna go ahead and speak that into existence. But we do pray for you. We pray for you. We just pray that God will begin to open so many doors for you, because this is your lane. You're able to teach and communicate well with people, and able to really be able to have that passion and teach them the passion. I mean, you can't teach passion, but your passion has taught you how to train people to build great relationships and have great culture. So I love that. So we pray that God will open doors for you, like God will blow your mind. Into opening doors, schools, all those things for you. We pray for your success. We pray that God will, I just want him to go exceedingly above and beyond all that you can dare ask or think as you're going through this journey. It's very brave for you to put a book out. So I want to say congratulations to you, because whenever we're putting our book out, even if it's a fiction book, it's still vulnerable. It's our stuff. So, I just want to say congratulations for doing that as you process. Please, y'all, I'm going to show y'all again. Go get his book today. Here is the link below. This is the link to his book for you guys to go get it. And again, I will put this link in the comments, but make sure you grab this book. It's beyond sports. Is great for sports, but we go really deep into things that people need in order to have a great team and build a great leadership. Okay. All right. Now tell them where they can find you.
The website, you mean, or?
Yeah, on social media.
Oh, you can find me at a players program on Instagram, Jeff Howell on Facebook. Obviously, my website, a-players-program.com is my website. And also on my website, I've got a gallery link. So I linked my coaching website. It was Coach J_Eagles. So I've got 9 years of photographs and motivational things. 9 years of pictures with captions that are under the gallery link of my website. It's pretty cool to go and kind of just look through the years and all the teams and all the things that we did. So that's how you can find me.
Now, make sure y'all read page 35.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all read page 35 for Miss Stephanie now, his lovely wife. Make sure y'all grab that. Now, if you're just joining us, I know we're wrapping up, but you still do have time to drop your name or drop in a comment a players program for you to potentially get a free copy of his book. Now, if you're watching a replay, I know we're going to get off of this, and this is on 3 different platforms, and you're watching a replay, type in replay and then type in a players program. And so that way we can enter your name for a draw. And we will try to tell by Friday, I would say. Oh, speaking of Friday or Saturday this week, I know, like, what's happening? Like, let's talk about that.
I was just going to mention that before we signed off. I'm having my final book signing. Unless something blows up and I become a New York Times bestseller, this will be my last book signing. It's at the retreat at Turnberry on Refugee Road, Hines Road area in Pickerington. It's from 1 to 3 this Saturday. I'll have like a little vendor booth type setup. You can purchase the book. I'll sign the book. We'll have some food, some light appetizers and beverages. So yeah, if you guys are not busy or have some free time from 1 to 3 on Saturday, come out and see me, get a picture together and everything.
Yeah, no, I definitely will be there. So I do appreciate you. I don't think this is going to be your last book signing. I think there's so much more to come. I know that I do believe God has so much in store for you. So, just be on the lookout for those things. You'll be amazed at the door he's going to open. So I just want to thank you. I thank you for being a part of this process. I'm so happy for you. I know you put a lot of work in here. And then I want, for you guys out there, I really want you to support him. He did a very good job at getting this out there and really talking about passion is so dear. Okay, so go and get the book and stop playing. All right. Well, thank you so much, Coach Howell. I really appreciate you. And then we will see you next time. You're welcome. See you later.